I am to report this. It directly relates to the routine here at this ISIS terror cell, and it needs to go on to this report because it pertains to everything and above that I have witnessed and reported in the prior testimony, which is online, that I uploaded at exactly 6 p.m. This testimony I filmed at 6. The other testimony I filmed at 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and plug both my ears. This is the only way to stay focused and function here. And we'll get this done a lot faster. So I went in at 5:51 into my extra room. And it was a few minutes after I had stopped filming. I started filming my testimony at 5 p.m. And at that time, the stalking occurred again. The stalking I have reported consistently is either straight up chasing me through cubby holes. Oh, it's clearly that. Or it's really premeditated, frightening, very unsafe, silent, physical stalking. It's one or the other here all the time. This time it was once again by the female terrorist, ISIS. She, once again, as reported multiple times, this is a consistent pattern, appears out of nowhere from floor 1. I can testify to the top cop, there was nobody here. It was absolutely silent. I had no TVs or anything running for a while. There was nobody here. For at least half an hour, that room has been empty. Floor 3 empty, everything, no toilets, no. They come in, like I said, systematically on shifts. So there was nobody here around me, all right, on my level of the row house terrace cell. And she and other terrorists, I've witnessed other ones who do not live here do this. When I'm in that extra room, if they're not coming through the cubbyhole entrances on floor 3, they're coming through somewhere in the basement. Now, I've witnessed the man digging tunnels. He witnessed and testified and alerted the agents to that as he was in the process of doing that, which was a course of a few weeks, about a year ago. I don't need to go back in time. I do not have to cover that again. So I strongly believe, and I know the agents know these things at this point. It's not a belief. It's just me as a witness and a victim of the terrorism. The agents have made multiple arrests from this terror cell. The fact that it's still protected is grounds for war. And when I say the military will take action, they're not going to sit on their bases and wait for these civilians who walk by and these terrorists who ingest human tissue to attack them on these bases. I was very incorrect in that statement. I felt that, and I feel very afraid and panicked in here because these kind of vicious, violent, criminally insane individuals are so protected to engage in these heinous, violent acts on a regular, routine basis. All right, so the female terrorist appeared out of nowhere. As I was in my room, I was brushing my teeth. There was nobody here. You don't even hear her coming up the first set of stairs from floor 1. You only hear her when she's almost approaching my door and the stairs are creaking. Then you hear her. She's barefoot and she's going slowly past my door. She's stalking my door. Once again, that's her job to do that here. Then she goes up fast, silent, pretty quiet. But she knows I hear her. She's stalking me. It's part of her wanting me to talk about her. There's a few motives to this action she carried out. Then she goes up to floor 3 and she has clearly moved, he and she, it's more than just her committing terrorism in this house, moved the station. There's 2 stations now that they get their equipment for bomb making and body dismemberment, human corpse dismemberment. She goes straight up into that station, which is in the hallway. Then once again, the TV is flipped on. She goes into the murder room over my head, and that begins to blast for precisely 5 minutes. And then, as I have reported in the prior video, which I recorded at 5 p.m., it is turned off. So the routine here with the TV, the last 48, is on for 15 and then off. And I don't need to tell the agents this, but it's just slightly different than what it's been before. But this I have seen before. This is not a new action with the TV. So she's in the house going through all the cubby holes she can access. She's going through cubby holes on the third floor. She's going through cubby holes on the basement. And she's coming every time I go in there to stalk me in my room. And the TVs are flipping on when I'm in that room. The same thing, but I need to report that the stalking is still continuing. It's very frightening here. The house is ice cold. The house is empty and it's jet black. There are no fucking lights on. All right, and when you go out there, there's all these really nasty stenches that you always smell of either human poop exhuming from a dead body with the gases, or a straight up rotting corpse, or you smell the chemicals, or you smell a whole bunch of human organs that have been cooked, or you smell the I forget. It's just, I've listed them. It's just shocking. So this is a clear functioning terrorist cell. And I just am in shock. But I need to report that. And I need to also say in statement that because of fear of my life, I will not be going back online after I report that. I also need to get over to the agents because of fear of my life. I won't even film the TV running in that room, the murder room, while the terrorists here are in the activity of terrorism. Because of fear of my life, I will only report what they do in this room. Okay, the flushing, the bomb manufacturing, everything is going. The stalking, everything's going. The stalking has been just straight up chasing me in cubby holes when I go in there for days now. It's horrifying here. Next thing I know, there's terrorists jumping like fucking zoo animals all over the place on floor 3. Only after I go in there, dude. Every time. So yeah, the stalking is continued. Goodbye.